So we had her baptized, and we all held her and said hello and said goodbye. And at this point, we knew now that she had spina bifida, and she had the cleft lip and palate, and her heart was not actually a hypoplastic left heart, although it was possible it would have to be treated as one. But she had a double outlet right ventricle and a deformed stenotic mitral valve. Her heart was in bad shape, really bad shape, and with her spine open and her heart, it just didn't look good. So we said hello, and we said goodbye, and we all held her and kissed her, and, well, I think I held her and everybody else got to kiss her. We took some pictures that were heartbreaking and warming all at the same time. Anyway, I was in really bad shape physically. I had some complications, and I really had no business being out of bed, but nobody was going to keep me from that NICU. At this point, it was late, and I was pretty bad off, so somebody doped me up, roofied me, gave me a cocktail. I don't know. I don't remember. I know that I went back to my room that night, and my sister Suzanne slept on the floor at the hospital. My husband went home to the baby, Kevin, and my dad and my mom were back at my house with my mother-in-law. And 6 o'clock the next morning, the neurosurgeon comes in with a team of doctors and hands me paperwork, and it was all very surreal and fuzzy, and he's telling me that they need me to sign off, and I'm asking, when can I see her? Can I hold her? Can you bring her to me? Because I assumed that I was signing off on a death certificate. And he said, no, she's prepped and in the OR already, and we have to act quickly. And I wasn't understanding. And Suzanne said, what do you mean? What do you mean she's in the OR? And he said, a few hours ago, for whatever reason, her heart started to pump effectively enough that we can get in there and close her spine. So we have to act on this quick. We have to close that spine. It'll reduce her chance of meningitis, and it'll give her a chance to maybe have some work done on her heart, and, we have hope that this baby's going to be okay. Which was just unthinkable. So I signed off, and they went and did her surgery, and on Valentine's Day, Kailey's spine was closed, and she came out of surgery great, and her heart was somewhat stable at that point. And that was the beginning of when Kailey started to really thrive and show us what she was made of. In the coming months, Kailey had a band put on her pulmonary artery to limit how much blood was flowing to her lungs, how quickly, because her body was getting over-oxygenated blood because of the heart defect. And eventually she ended up having open heart surgery where they put in a mechanical mitral valve. And they repaired her double outlet right ventricle. Her aorta was straddling the septum, and so her heart has one ventricle that's smaller than the other, but it pumps effectively. And Kailey went on, and at 79 days, Kailey came home from the NICU, and she had her lip repaired when she was 9 months old, and she wasn't even 10 pounds at 9 months old, and then she had her palate repaired when she was a year old, and she wasn't even 11 pounds at a year old. And then, we didn't know if she would talk or walk or what would happen with her, but we were living day by day. And she went to a great school, Just Kids in Lindenhurst, and she had a phenomenal teacher there that started to teach her American Sign Language. And so while she wasn't speaking, she sure was signing. And eventually she started to speak. And she hasn't shut up since. So, Kailey has had her valve replaced at 4 years old. She was 17 pounds. She had her valve replaced once. She has had her club feet repaired when she was 5. When she was 6, she had a Mitrophanoff and a mace. And for those of you who don't know what those are, it's not really that important. And for those of you who do, it made all the change in the world. But we still struggle with that. And right now, Kailey is 8 years old, and she's getting ready to go into 2nd grade on Monday. And she is my wheelchair warrior. The kid is feisty and brilliant and hell on wheels. She is everything my mother wished on me and more. She is sassy and smart-mouthed, and you can't tell Kailey that she can't do something, because the minute you tell her she can't do something, she proves you wrong and does it. She can climb a ladder and go down the slide and pump on a swing, and she plays with all the kids in the neighborhood, and she is confined to she uses a power wheelchair. I will not say she's confined to it, because at any given moment she is crawling around. She crawls all over the place and climbs everything and is so much a typical kid. Her health doesn't get in her way. And yeah, she's medically fragile, and we don't know what tomorrow holds. We live day by day, and we thank God for every day we have, because she's 8 and she's stronger than we ever thought possible, and she's smarter than I ever hoped for. And for all of her back talking, thank God she has the wit to be the brat that she is. She's amazing, and she is 2 out of 4. She's the 2nd child out of 4. We went on to have TJ and Allison after her, because we're crazy. And she's a great big sister, and she's a great little sister, and she's a phenomenal daughter, and she's inspirational. And she's got a story, man. She has some story, and I've only given you an edited version of it. But that's Kailey, and her story impacted me. Her life impacted me, and for a lot of years I feared and mourned, and I isolated her and myself. People can be cruel, and you go to a park and people don't want their kid to play with your kid, they don't know what she has, and people are ignorant, and them pulling their child away and saying, don't look, don't ask questions, don't touch that baby, or don't touch that child. It hurt. And while I'm not really the overly sensitive type, usually, that hurt. And I never got angry at the parents, but I started to withdraw and lead more of a hermited life, and I picked very carefully those who I let in my life and those who I didn't. And food became my friend, and I spiraled out of control, and I realized that I have this child who wants to conquer the world, and I was holding her back. It was me. I was limiting her, and how dare I put a limit on this kid? So I had my surgery, and now I can keep up with her, and her brothers, and her sister, and she inspired me to be better and to do better, because for so long I just didn't do right by her. She is the most motivated kid I know. And that's her life, and that's my story. And this is probably the last vlog I'll do, because I'm really uncomfortable on video. So, thanks for listening and paying attention, and I'm Michelle, the SG Mom, and this is just going to go up on my website. So, cheers to you.